Breaking news tonight, Fox News has learned that U.S. Attorney for the Washington, D.C. recommended bringing criminal charges against disgraced former Deputy FBI Director Andrew McCabe. Well, that was for lying to investigators about leaking to the media. McCabe's team appealed the decision to the Deputy Attorney General, Mr. Rosen, who rejected it. But that didn't stop MSNBC, naturally, from defending McCabe.
Even as DOJ tries to make the point that it's straight up on the merits, it'll be very hard for people to believe when you see all the evidence like that of the commander-in-chiefs wanting to bring him down.
Now it appears the department's going to prosecute him with an extremely weak case, a case that looks political. The only difference between Andy McCabe's case and that of other department employees over the years is that the president called for him to be fired and called for him to be prosecuted.
Wow, and he doesn't even work at their network. Joining me now is Rudy Giuliani. Rudy Giuliani. I'm sorry, I'm laughing, Rudy. President Trump's personal attorney. Rudy, which MSNBC contributor do you predict McCabe will hire as his next counsel?
I wouldn't hire any of them as a lawyer. But I mean, the fact is that McCabe disgraced the FBI, first of all, by leaking. FBI agents, by the way, are not supposed to leak. If that MSNBC reporter knows of a lot of them who have done it over the years, I'd like to know who they are. But beyond that, he compounded it by lying about the leaking to Comey. Unless he's lying and Comey is telling, unless Comey is telling the truth, or he's telling the truth. We just don't know. So McCabe is the one in the middle right now. He's the first step. I think the next step you're going to see is the Pfizer affidavit and warrant, which is going to turn out to have been even worse. Because Comey didn't just make a false statement. Comey lied under oath, clearly, without any doubt, when he made it appear as if the Steele dossier was vindicated and verified, which it wasn't. So I think this is the beginning of investigating and bringing out the real crimes that took place here, which is, honestly, what appears to be an emerging conspiracy to frame Donald Trump, in which I think it's going to get much broader. It's going to involve intelligence services as well.
Well, and also to vindicate Hillary Clinton. I mean, to keep the investigation going, then ultimately to vindicate her right before the election.
You know, if it were a book, the heading at the beginning would be Peter Strzok's statement. He laid the whole thing out. I have a plan to prevent him from being president, and I have an insurance policy to take him out if he becomes president.
Now, well, Rudy,
that's what they tried to do. That's what they tried to do.
Yeah, well, CNN's Toobin, Jeffrey Toobin, I think he made a big error in his defense of McCabe. Watch.
This is an extremely unusual prosecution. Andy McCabe had the right to speak to reporters. That is beyond dispute. As Deputy Director of the FBI, he had the right to speak to reporters. There is every bit of a sign of a vindictive crusade against McCabe.
Well, of course, McCabe filed a lawsuit against the Justice Department to try to avert all of this. He appealed it to Rosen. That's not going anywhere.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, Rudy, you have authority to disclose information as long as it's in the public interest. If you're in the FBI, wow.
Well, that's a whole new definition of the law. I mean, I was in the Justice Department for 17 years, and I didn't think I had the authority to disclose information to the press. That's kind of news to me. I think it violates about 10 different rules of the Justice Department. It could easily amount to obstruction of justice, and McCabe makes it easy because he lied about it, which is a false statement. After all, they prosecuted Martha Stewart for a single false statement to the FBI. She wasn't an FBI agent. They're prosecuting Flynn for a single false statement when they knew the answer to it. If we have equal justice under the law, McCabe has to be prosecuted, and so does Comey. You can't prosecute other false statement cases or perjury cases just because they're Democrats or they were helping Hillary. Doesn't give them immunity from the law, which Hillary got. But you know, we got to stop this now.
And Rudy, the Inspector General's report also said he lied for personal gain. It wasn't for the public interest. The Inspector General concluded.
Oh, come on. The guy was a slime ball.
That's ridiculous.
His wife was running for office, and they were taking money from Clinton while they were fixing the Clinton case. If that wasn't a, well, never mind. I mean, these people. It's
despicable.
These people are trying to create a completely different system of justice so that the Clintons and the Bidens and they get away with bribery, they get away with taking billions from China.
Pay to play.
They get away from taking hundreds of millions from Russia. And, oh, my God, you know, the New York Times and the Washington Post defends them. And then you get a single false statement in a trap by General Flynn, and they want to crucify the guy. That case should be dismissed tomorrow.
Oh, no. And they want to crucify him, bankrupt him, put his family in jail.
That case is a disgrace. It's a disgrace to the Justice Department.
No, I still can't get over the fact they put Paul Manafort in solitary confinement. I still can't get over that.
Another disgrace. In order to get him to lie, Laura, they basically had him in solitary confinement for 7 months, and they gave him a script to read from. And they told him, if you say what we told you to say, we'll let you out of solitary confinement. You should go to jail for doing that. It's a disgrace to prosecutors.
Yeah. Hey, Rudy, Ken Starr, of course, former independent counsel, he spoke out on what the penalty for McCabe could be here. Watch.
Well, the charges are apparently going to be for misleading the FBI.
For lying.
And for lying. But they keep talking about misleading, but we'll see exactly what the indictment says. And only when we see the indictment, but we could be looking at prison time here.
I can't tell you how many people come up to me, Rudy, when I travel around the country saying, is anyone going to go into jail here? Why is there no accountability for these leaks, vindictive prosecutions, setups, surveillance, lying to the FISA court? And people just get so demoralized. I'm telling you, they're like, well, military people don't get away with this stuff. They get thrown away for 20 years.
There are a lot of Americans, Laura, who still believe that justice is blind. And it doesn't matter if you're a crook and you're a Democrat or you're a crook and you're a Republican, but you go to jail. But right now, we have a system of justice that I believe Obama originally organized with Holder, in which Democrats get away with egregious criminal conduct, egregious, multi-millions in bribes, and Republicans get prosecuted for process crimes that you wouldn't prosecute anyone for. And we have to change that. If we have crooked Republicans, put them in jail. I did. If you have crooked Democrats, put them in jail. And the New York Times and the Washington Post enable all this with their ridiculous coverage.
Rudy, Nadler's moving forward with the process and the process being put in place for impeachment. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, she decided to chime in today on the vote that she wants to see coming out of this. Let's watch.
Oh, that genius, yeah.
Yeah, let's watch.
We have to do our job. And I think that once the House impeaches, the House has impeached the president. And then that hearing goes to the Senate. If they want to fail it, then I want to see every Republican go on the record and knowingly vote against impeachment of this president, knowing his corruption, having it on the record so that they can have that stain on their careers for the rest of their lives.
Rudy, take a swing at that one.
Well, I think that as a lawyer and as a person who values justice, of course, they shouldn't impeach. My political head says, okay, Cortez, do it, and you're going to lose the House. You think those 40 Democrats that were elected in swing districts that voted for Trump, you think those people are going to get reelected if you do something so stupid as impeach? The whole case is falling apart. It's not only now proven that Trump didn't do anything wrong, it's beginning to emerge that the Democrats set him up. Comey, McCabe, people in the intelligence community.
60% of Americans, 60% of Americans, Rudy, are against impeachment.
Do you know what we call what they did in New York, law enforcement circles? It was a frame-up designed in the Obama White House to get dirty information from Ukraine, England, Italy, any place they could get it. Some of it clearly falsified. You should go to jail for that.
Well,
that's wrong, no matter if you're a Democrat or a Republican.
We want to see these charges
go
forward, and people have to pay the price for what happened. Rudy, thank you.
I'm confident.
Thank you so much, Rudy. Good to see you tonight.